Yo, what is going on, everybody? Lottery Stocks here. Today we have an important video, AMC, yada, yada, yada. Smash the like, consider subscribing. Let's get right into it before, my mind goes somewhere else. So we're looking at the proposed rule for this securities, this SFT clearing, this whole SEC filing that was put out. Okay, it's proposed, it's not finalized, but let's just clear up some things. Okay, nature of the proposed rule change. Okay, if you come down here and look at part 3, establish the SFT clearing on page 3, right? What does this mean? Establish the SFT clearing. What are SFTs? Securities financing transactions. Okay, a type of security financing transaction can be, if you take a look at this, lending a security for a fee in return for a guarantee in the form of financial instruments or cash given by the borrower. Now, if you come over here, what are financial instruments? One of the financial instruments may be divided into two types: cash instruments and derivative instruments. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? So let's just say, securities financing transactions. So let's say BlackRock, securities financing transactions, X amount of shares of AMC. Let's short sellers borrow these, and in return, short sellers send over derivatives to keep this thing going, keep this thing fine. Therefore, they're benefiting and will in return get these shares back. Let's just say that works out and they continue this cycle going some way, shape, or form with AMC, right? They're continuing to do so throughout the options market. Now, let's just say this doesn't work, right? They give XXX derivatives. It doesn't work. It fails. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and I do need someone down below to go over this, right? I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Let's just take a look at this, okay? Until NSCC has satisfied the final settlement obligations owing to non-defaulting SFT members, NSCC would continue paying to and receiving from non-defaulting SFT members the applicable price differential. Okay, with respect to their novated SFTs, NSCC would take into account such price differential payment obligations as well as any final settlement obligations to non-defaulting SFT members. When calculating the amount of liquidity resources that NSCC may require in the event of a default of the participant family, that would generate the largest aggregate payment obligation for NSCC in extreme but plausible market conditions. Okay, this part right here, okay, on page 171 and previously on 170. Now, skimming through the article and taking a look at this, I couldn't wrap my head around what is going on, so I don't want to speak on it, but I'm going to link this down below, this article, and if anybody wants to break this section down and, email it to me, I'll leave that down below too in the comments or the description. Feel free to do so, right? But let's just say, let's just check this out, okay? Page 132 of the article. While the concept of a fail does not exist in the securities lending market in the same manner as it does in the cash market, to the extent that the final settlement of an SFT is scheduled on a particular date but does not occur, whether directly or through a pair-off as described in Section 8 of Proposed Rule 56. That could potentially be a result of a squeeze or other market dislocation whereby NSCC may face increased market risk in the event of a default or other transfer or transferee. So take a look at this again, right? While the concept of a fail, okay, and then you come down here, let's see, Section 8, that could potentially be a result of a squeeze or other market dislocation. Okay, so remember, you take a look at this, right? A fail, which could potentially lead to a squeeze or market dislocation, right? NSCC may face increased market risk in the event of a default of either transfer or transferee. Now, keeping that in mind, this is why I'm linking this down below for some of the breakdown, because it's saying this part, until NSCC is satisfied, final settlement, whatever, right? They are going to pay this, that, and the third to prevent this event from happening. It seems to protect themselves, to pre-protect themselves, right? Because they will face increased market risk in the event of a default of either transfer or transferee. So overall, this article, I think there's extremely important things to touch on and focus on. And it just really has to be broken down. Like, I'm talking days of reading this, if not lawyers, someone along that concept to break it down and touch on each and every single key point that was written inside of this article. earlier I said there's two ways people are interpreting this, right? They're preparing for what's to come, or they're attempting to prevent for what's to come. As for what I just read, this is going to make or break one of those scenarios. Okay, whoever breaks this down and emails it to me or tweets it, whatever, posts on Reddit, just link it to me. This is going to decide, are they trying to prevent this from happening? Is it going to work? Now, the next thing you could think of, just to bring up, right, will this be finalized before transparency? And if not, will that affect anything? Will the squeeze come into play first? This, that, and the third. This is beginning stages, and we have to move on from here. Make sure to comment on it, yada, yada, yada. This will be linked down below. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the SPY AMC and what I think is to come, and why I do like how AMC is trading. AMC currently at 1685 after hours, down 2.83%. GameStop 141.56. It closed that down 4.9%, currently at 141.76 after hours. Now what we're going to look at is AMC real quick, and what do I have lined up here and why? Okay, this is the time frame where I do think you're going to see that next big leg up, and we're going to bring this over to the 30 minutes. And I'll show you exactly why we're going to bring this over to 30 minute. Now take a look at this setup. This is what AMC is at right now, and I really, really, really want you to pay attention to this and keep this in the back of your head. Take a look at the patterns here, right? Keep this in the back of your head, okay? Remember this. Keep this in the back of your head. The move after, right? Keep that in the back of your head. And the break of this overall trend line, okay? Not respecting its overall trend line. The break over, keep that in the back of your head. Now, where we are now. This is the last part that I want you to remember, okay? This is the cycle period that is most often saw, like these two little humps, these two little whoops. Now, let's just stay on the 30-minute chart and go back a bit as to where I'm coming from with this and why I think this is where we're at, right? Now take a look at what's in front of you, and remember what I said to keep in the back of your head, okay? This is where I do believe we are now, to the T, just about, and this is why, okay? So remember, keep these in the back of your head. I said the two whoops, right? You can either say they're right here, the two humps. They like to happen in cycles, and it's not even a joke, okay? They happen on plenty of cycles, okay? Either one you want to look at, these or these. This focus, right? The break of its overall trend line, okay? And this is identical. This is identical things that are happening right now that are playing out with AMC, and there's more to correlate to it, and there's more with the SPY to correlate to it. And then you have what's essentially the same thing happening, right? These two little whoops. And this is where I do believe who the fuck is banging out there? I don't know what the bang is. I'm sorry, guys, but we're not going to stop the video for that, and we're not going to restart the video for that. But I do think this is where AMC is at, and either tomorrow or next week, you're getting this next leg up, okay? And the next leg up being almost identical to what this looks like, but at a little bit of a bigger scale until finally leading into the run-up. Hey! Just fucking scream at them. All right, seriously though, that is really annoying. Overall, you guys can see it touching the low of the stock a few times here. Now, coordinating this with the SPY, right? This is May 4th and May 10th. Okay, May 4th, May 10th. Now, if you go over here and look at the SPY, and we're going to bring this up on the daily chart because I think this does correlate. This does coordinate with the S&P 500 here. And I think it's really interesting the way cycles are playing out, and I think this is just an extra confirmation for anybody who isn't believing in this cycle, the cycle period, the cycle theory, right? If you take a look, okay, I have this time lined up May 4th to May 10th where AMC went through this period, right? And this is where you saw this extreme sell-off. This is right where you saw the extreme sell-off, and just based off of that, you're seeing the same exact thing happen now, right? This extreme sell-off happen here around the same time frame. Not everything is to a T, but it's just about there. Okay, this sell-off, and here's where ultimately, right, came up to this level where eventually it held as support, came up to this level of resistance, got smacked. I do think that's what you're seeing here, and this leads me to say that I do believe the SPY is going to bounce somewhere around 435, right? 433 to 435, somewhere at this level, to hold this recent level right here. And just correlating this, when you had this SPY move right after, right? Anybody who's waiting for a SPY rebound to play calls, play puts, I think it's coming in the near future. But even if it doesn't come, I still think it's good for AMC if this doesn't play out on the SPY. But notice right after this on the SPY, it had its move as AMC ran as well. And this is the period I do think you're in. So you see it here, and you see it here, and you're touching upon this this piece right here. Now, if you were just gonna, draw this out and coordinate it at a much larger scale, this is something you'd carry over to be very basic with you. Extremely basic, right? This is ultimately what the setup is that we're waiting for around this time frame. Right now, I do believe AMC is perfectly fine where it's trading at, and where I do think, you'd break below this cycle, and worst case scenario comes in, would be this. Okay, so let's zoom in here, and we're on the 1 hour. I'd be fine with a bounce off of 1650 if it came that low, or even 16, but a break under that is going to bring you to, what I believe, low 15, high $14 range, and that will either extend the cycle or kill it and be worst case scenario for AMC and GameStop. Now, worst case scenario for AMC, of course, is to break the lows it's touched in the past 9 months, which is around 1290. Overall, guys, this is what I got for the video. Don't forget to check out the merch store. Where's Gary? Because where the fuck is Gary Gensler? The support tee, buy AMC stock, AMC financial advice sticker, meme stocks, mouse pad. I don't know. This merch is just so cool to me. I own one of these shirts and one of these mugs, and it's the best quality. So, guys, the link is down below. Feel free to do that. Also, link down below to get free stocks. You can sell them and buy AMC. You just have to sign up and deposit a penny or more, any amount, and you'll get the free stocks worth up to $3,500. Every time someone does it, I sell mine and buy AMC, so you can do so too. Yeah, that's really all I got for you guys for this video. It's probably not going to be edited, probably not going to be, I don't know if it will be, we'll see or not, but hopefully you've taken something from it. We are about to be at 5,000 subscribers, which is just crazy to me. We're about to be there, so if you want to consider subscribing and joining the fam, feel free to do so. Also, turning post notifications on and smashing that like. Make sure to drop a comment down below. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and that's it. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.